Welcome to What's the Tea, the podcast where timelines collide and teacups runneth over.
We're your hosts, Caleb and Jaleesa Cox, married for 14 years, parents to a precocious toddler, and surviving it all one hot cup at a time.
Each week we bring you the wildest, weirdest, and most talked about stories from our very different corners of the internet.
His feed thinks smart, comedy, gamer memes, and nerdy deep dives. Mine, all pop culture, black Twitter gold, and reality TV level drama.
We sip on a new loose leaf tea each episode and spill all the takes, unfiltered, mostly respectful, always honest, and sometimes hilarious.
So grab your mug, settle in, and ask yourself,
What's the tea? All right, let's take attendance just to make sure everybody's here and accounted for.
Cox family roll call. Caleb.
Sip, sip. Jaleesa.
Apparently.
Am I here?
Am I here? Here and fully caffeinated. Thank you very much.
And you, our listeners, our neighbors, welcome back to Classy Chaos. Let's see what this week brought us.
Let's get into it. All right, babe. What is the tea?
The tea this week is Vahdam Daily Darjeeling Second Flush Black Tea. It is an FTG FOP 1 grade loose leaf tea packed and shipped direct from source in India. As per the description, majestic and superior Darjeeling tea. Experience the allure of our daily Darjeeling black tea. This popular blend features delicate Darjeeling leaf tea sourced during the peak summer harvest, offering a tea with a pronounced aroma. With medium caffeine content, it's a delightful choice for any time of the day. Enjoy its pure, unadulterated taste without milk, and make it a part of your daily tea ritual. Now, what do the letters mean? I still don't know what that is. FTGFOP1.
Yeah. So
that sounds.
That's tea rating, right? Like they grade a lot of these leaves and their teas,
okay.
And so it's how you know whether or not something's like good. You know.
Okay. So is FTGFOP1 is
random one in there. Finest tippy golden flower orange Pico grade 1, which is known for its high quality and the presence of many delicate leaf buds. It's premium tea designation. It's often found in Darjeeling teas and other high quality black teas. The 1 indicates the highest grade within the FTGFOP category.
Yeah, see, there's got to be an easier way to go about it, but
I know it's like the breathiest.
Yeah, it's like binomial nomenclature for tea. It's
Yeah, it sounds really fancy, but to be honest, this is like daily tea for us, right?
This
is like every morning. We don't drink coffee, we drink tea. I know that sounds pretentious, but legitimately.
No, really, it just sounds like a different choice.
It's just a different choice. It's just, we are not that fancy, but we do like to get quality things, right? It's just like, if you were a coffee drinker, you might want to get your coffee beans specifically from your favorite blend. So it's not any different than that. We try a lot of different teas, but this is daily, right? Every single day.
This is a staple.
This is strong black tea. It's actually supposed to have an amber color. You can see that we very clearly steep this. Maybe we'll have Caleb throw in a picture of what their picture looks like, just so you can understand what what I'm brewing it like. So it is our coffee. And that's the daily. So, we'll try out some different things here in this space, but why not start with what is tried and true?
Oh, yeah.
Old Faithful.
So, I'd say it's, I think it's time to just get into the next segment so we can move this along. It's late.
Yeah.
And I've been itching to talk to you about this stuff
All right.
for a while now.
All right. Well, let me ask you something. Before we jump into the meat, I want to ask you something.
All right, what do you want? What you trying to ask me?
I'm going to ask you a question. Is our weekly prompt question of the week. We like those like dumb card games.
They're not dumb.
I know, I'm self-deprecating, but we like those card games that, keep you in tune with one another, with your family. They're not all about sex or anything like that. Some of them are just about your personality and ask questions and start conversation. So that's what this segment is. It can be a
Okay.
prompt. If you're a listener, please put in the comment section if you have a question you would like us to answer or include in our prompt.
That's
Drop
good.
that in the comment section.
Yeah.
But tonight's question is, you are offered a box of 12 donuts. For each donut you eat, $100,000 is deposited into your account, and, because there's always an and,
Yeah.
you gain, or maybe it's a but, you gain 100 pounds, or not 100, wow, that'd be excessive, 10 pounds immediately. This weight can only be lost naturally, though. So it's like, just as magically as you get $100,000 from eating a donut, just as magically, you cannot lose this weight without exercising. How many donuts are you eating?
Bruh.
You gain 10 pounds immediately.
Okay, so check it out. There's no caveat here, is there?
No.
There's no.
There's no loopholes.
Okay,
This is
because
not
it
like
says
specifically where.
no,
Why?
because
What
it
was
just
the loophole you were going for?
it says you gain 10 pounds immediately. What if you gain 10 pounds of muscle, and you can only lose it naturally by sitting on your butt?
What?
I'm just saying.
No, you gain 10 pounds. 10 pounds that would come
10
from
regular
eating
pounds.
10 regular pounds.
That would come from eating 10 pounds of donuts.
Yeah, no, this is an Eddie Murphy movie. This is
Okay.
what's happening.
I'm clumping.
Yeah, so how many donuts you eat?
I mean, let's see. One's not enough. That's $100,000. Is this tax free?
Yeah, just
It's
immediately no strings attached.
Well, yeah, there's strings attached. Good Lord. Okay, so I would have to eat at least 10.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
You are going to gain 100 pounds in a day? How would you get rid of 100 pounds? That would put you over 300 pounds. That's insanity.
That would put me just shy of 300
No.
pounds.
And how are you exercising? This is so now
I would put on that VR headset and punch away those 300 pounds.
No.
And oh, come on, people weigh like 2.
What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, I think I would eat at least 10.
You have a child, sir.
I know, which means that I would be extra motivated to lose that weight naturally.
How are you showing up at his Saturday gym class to play with him?
With knee braces, ankle braces.
You wouldn't even be able to move yourself around.
Come on now. You think my brother can't move himself around at all? Like, he can't. He might not have the most endurance, but he can still move around.
Shots fired. Shots fired. That is diabolical. You should not. No.
I'm saying he's a big dude that can still move around. So, and I've seen plenty of people that come across my feed who are heavy, but still athletic.
You're eating 100 donuts.
I'm not eating 100 donuts.
Oh,
I'm
10,
gaining
sorry.
100
You're
pounds.
gaining 100 pounds.
I'm not trying to die. I want to live afterward. That's why I say I have
you're
to
gaining
eat.
100 pounds.
I had to consider 15.
No. Well, it's a dozen. You're giving a dozen. You can't even eat 15 because that is insanity.
Oh, it says here off. Yeah. Okay. So
No one.
120 pounds, you can lose it.
God.
Haven't you ever seen The Biggest Loser? They make them work it off like bit by bit, and then the more they get into it, the more their joints stop screaming at them to stop.
This is insanity.
I might eat the whole thing.
No.
$1.2 million
Absolutely
tomorrow.
not. Immediate heart problems and being in the hospital. What happened? No.
No, but see, you said there were no strings attached.
Oh my gosh! You better use that first
I didn't
bit
think
of
that there
money
were
to buy
any.
some really good insurance.
No, I think that if there's no strings attached, then I don't get immediate health complications from gaining the weight. I just have to lose the weight naturally, right?
Mhm. Yes.
But not like my arteries are now clogged like I've been doing this for a long period of time and just poor diet over, you know what I mean?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that specific, but I mean,
It
maybe.
is thought, you're
let's
asking me
say
to think.
so.
So what
You know
about
what?
you?
For
How many
our,
are you
for
eating?
our sake, yeah, I hope not.
How many are you eating? Because I mean,
I legitimately was thinking about eating 2.
2?
Yes.
2?
Listen, I have grown in this marriage. The love of money is not what's most important to me.
It's not
feel
because
like
I love
that
the
is
money.
life changing, especially. I'm thinking like, all right, that's a lottery ticket right there. That's
It
a
absolutely
guaranteed
is,
lottery
yeah.
ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's life changing money right there.
It is.
So I don't know. I feel like, let's see. Okay, women gain 30 pounds after having a baby. I could see that. 3 donuts, $300,000, life changing money, especially if it's tax free.
Yeah.
So I feel like 30 pounds would probably push it for me.
Fair enough. I mean, I get it. That's probably the smart choice, but $1.2 million is also life-changing money. It's generation-changing money. You know, you can purchase several buildings
That's
and
true.
pay the taxes for the next, 20 years.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong there. But wow, that is insane.
All right. I think that was a good question. I like that. 100,000 10-pound donuts.
Apparently, we're gonna be millionaires. All right.
Overnight. It's just 100. It's 120 pounds. I feel like they lose that. You hear people all the time that lose that on like The Biggest Loser and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right. So
now it's time to enter alternate timelines. I feel like I should have had like a voice effect. Hold on.
Alternate timeline. Oh man, that was awesome. Alright.
Alternate timelines. Oh man. No.
Alternate timelines. Alright, that sounded good.
all right. So this segment was born from our very real, very regular conversations that start with, "Did you hear about?"
Yeah. Only for the other one is just blink, confusion, like
Get hit with the flat face emoji.
yeah, babe. We do not have the same internet.
We don't.
We have discovered this bit by bit.
Got to make sure A Different World keeps playing in the background because Tater Tot over there is sleeping.
Yeah.
And if we're not talking and they're not talking, he's like, "Hey, you're supposed to come to bed."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we know we don't have the same internet.
No,
I don't know. Bezos is pumping it in straight to us in individual feeds. I don't know.
it really is. It's true. My feed is all, well, it we'll say gaming deep dives, clever comedy, and niche nerd news, but there's also just weird stuff. It's weird. I mean, there's interesting. We'll say it's interesting. It's not weird. It's interesting. Would you like some tea?
Yes. Oh man. In my feed, while he pours the tea, while he serves the tea, my feed appropriately serves the tea. Okay. My feed is all about pop culture, all the Twitter debates, all the Black Twitter moments, all the vibes. It's always the vibes. Ironically, this is the most I've used vibes, probably.
Satiki. Okay, so in this segment, we each bring a topic from our timelines that the other person definitely missed. Most likely missed. Because we don't know. We've just been sitting, staring at each other, not talking about these things and trying to find other things to talk about. So,
yeah, you have to put on your imagination, you know? Our son watches Tab Time, and so it's like, imagination. So in your imagination, this normally looks like one of us bursting into the other room, or into the kitchen, or into the living room, into the bathroom, saying, so you know, or did you hear, or tell me what you think about.
Hey,
then,
look at this.
Can you believe? And
Yo!
the other person being like, wait, what? And so that's what this looks like, okay? So do you have it? You have it in your mind? All right. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go and how far we can drag each other. And you. Let's jump to dimensions. Who's going first?
Ladies first.
Oh my. Okay. Okay. So I have a couple of like
Ooh, that's good.
nonsensical things, right? That not nonsensical, but not high stakes things that I just would like probably would have just popped off, like shared a link really quickly in our chat.
Okay. So if you go ahead and just send it to me, I guess.
Okay, no, I don't have those things just yet.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm saying these are things that I probably would have just sent to you really quick, or ran into the room and been like, "Oh my god, did you know about this?"
Okay.
So that's what this section is. Okay, so obviously, sad news, very sad. Pope Francis died this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you know that. So well, I didn't know you knew that, but
I
died
did
at
know
88. Very weird things surrounding, his death. Ironically, a U.S. politician was J.D. Vance was I think like the last person to see him. Very odd, weird things. Gave interesting symbols the last time that he was seen on a balcony. A lot of whispering in his ear. It was an impromptu appearance, apparently, almost like he knew that the time was near. But very sad. Oh, I'm not a Catholic. I'm a Christian. I'm not a Catholic.
It is. I mean, it's sad when someone beloved dies.
Yes.
It's sad when someone dies.
Yeah. But he was fairly beloved.
He was.
And so I just wanted to acknowledge.
From what I know,
right,
and
again.
I don't know much about him, he was a decent pope, right?
Right.
Okay. Maybe not the best, but not the worst.
Exactly. So,
Pope Francis, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, may he rest in peace. In UT news, we both went to the University of Tennessee, just so that you understand why this is relevant to either one of us. There was a very, I guess, disruptive transfer. Joey Aguilar had just transferred to UCLA and then gets transferred to UT after they let go of Nico Imalaeva. So apparently, because now there's the name, image, likeness paychecks that these football players are receiving now.
Yeah.
And so apparently this, what's his name? Nico, because I'm not going to keep butchering his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Nico let his team, supposedly, or at least the rumor has it that he let his team basically make an issue that wasn't an issue for him. So he had like a $2 million deal with UT.
How many 20 donuts?
He had a $2 million deal with UT
Uh-huh.
and wanted more money. Or at least his team tried to get him more money. It's unclear whether it was an issue for him, but his team wanted to get him more money, and then it like created like a dust up enough to where UT was like, and then he ends up being put in the trading pool and gets transferred to UCLA, which people, obviously say, UT is a top, I think like what, top 10, top 8
I mean, they
SEC
got good
school.
again, I think.
Yeah, and so when you think about
Ask my family members. I don't know. I don't
so when you
sport.
think about UCLA, which is not in the SEC, and they've only made like 2 bowls in the last 2 years, he really actually might have messed himself up when you think about like picks and gameplay and
So you're saying it was a short-sighted
yeah,
decision
yeah, and so now this might actually be a really big
to
win,
reject $2 million.
right, for this person. Now Joey is not getting $2 million. He wasn't, a top pick, so he's not getting $2 million. But it could mean more money for him in the long run. I just thought it was interesting, only because it came about UT, and everybody was talking about this on my feed. I don't know about you.
No.
No, okay.
No, it did not show up.
Okay,
And if it did, I missed it entirely. It's sports.
It probably showed up. We have
and
some
UT.
mutual friends here, so I feel like it would have showed up. In Stardew Valley news, they have updated. He has updated, created an update where now children grow up from babies to toddlers. I'm super excited about this.
Oh.
This is one of like the areas. It's still, even though it's gamer news, you have to understand that Caleb does not keep up with Stardew Valley in particular as a game, where it is like a staple. It's a game I'm never done playing. So while this would normally be an area of gamer news, you would think that, or one would think that it's an area that we would actually mutually have information about. This is completely off of his radar. What
it is
updates are coming out for Stardew Valley? While
I
impatiently wait for Haunted Chocolatier, but we love you. We love you regardless. Yeah. So the child used to only go from baby that was always sleeping, which I have one that was always sleeping, to just now I finally started like toddling around, right? Or like crawling around. But then after that, they never get any older. And now this update allows them to be toddlers and like walk about your farm and
break everything in your house.
Yeah. No, that's not what happens. So now there are new mods that you can add unique children and specific personalities and specific dialogue with them.
Oh, that's
Before,
cool.
the only way you can interact with them was picking them up out of their like cradle, their crib, and like tossing them up in the air, and it would like show a heart, and then you just move on. So that's pretty exciting, at least for me. When the game continues to get more exciting with new festivals.
Yeah, I mean, it adds another layer of immersion into a family life that you're building on the farm.
Right, exactly. And
you really, like, once you get through those first 2 years, you see Grandpa's ghost, you made him proud, and you're really just digging into endgame.
Right. Then there needs to be something fresh, something new.
Yep.
And, you
without starting over,
it to Concerned Nape that he still like
it's a passion project.
Yeah. And you still keep getting, I mean, for me, I log in and I still keep getting more and new content to be able to play. I'm still behind, to be honest. So
buy copies for other people.
Yeah.
Fund Haunted Chocolatier and more Stardew development.
Right.
I mean, that's I mean, people got to feed their kids and stuff.
Okay.
So
So we have to talk about Kanye West's wild admission.
we do. We do.
We have to talk about this.
Cool. Can't wait. Love talking about Kanye.
Do
Love it.
you know what this is?
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, this came across. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I
Yeah.
feel like in real life, though, I probably would have come and told you about this before you would have read about it.
I mean,
It's been going on all week. So.
I saw it 2 hours after an initial
Post about it? Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, then,
a
actually,
5:30 morning business.
no way.
Yeah.
So Kanye West sent out a tweet. This song is called Cousins, about my cousin that is locked in jail for unaliving a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault, and I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and my cousins until I was 14. So, what's going on with Kanye?
Somebody take his phone away.
Right.
Take his phone away.
Right.
Just somebody take his phone.
But these are things that he needs to tell someone, but not us.
Behind closed doors.
Right.
With a licensed professional who is specially trained in whatever is going on between his ears. But we don't need to be privy to that.
Right. Take me out the chat.
Yep.
I didn't need to know this.
I did not.
You know,
So, does this mean that Matt Parker and Trey Stone or Trey Parker and Matt Stone, that the creators of South Park were onto something when they were clowning Kanye all those years ago?
You're making references that I don't know what you're talking about. I've watched some South Park, but you know that I
So the joke was, hey, do you like fish sticks?
Oh, okay, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember this. They might, you know.
It's like they pulled The Simpsons in real time, and I did not need to know that.
Yeah,
Why is everything in the news cycle like this
Yeah.
now?
This is a big overshare. This is one of those times. This was a big overshare.
Yes.
Okay. I will say though, this reaffirms for me as a parent things that I have said about wanting there to be supervision of children at all times,
Yep.
no matter their relationship, no matter how well I know their parents, no
Yep.
matter if their parents are my family,
No matter
if.
No matter if.
I need
To protect my child.
Yeah. And these are
Period.
reasons why. This is not the reason, but this is one of many confessions that I've heard from people about unsupervised play outside of the
Mhm.
presence of adults.
Outside the presence of their parents.
Outside of the
even.
presence of their parents, right? And for
Because-
me and mine, this is just I did not need to know. I'm sorry that someone didn't protect you or that cousin. And while the rest of the internet is talking about your proclivities and whether or not
That's not
these
the
other
issue
things,
here.
for me, yeah, right. For
That's
me,
not
I'm
the
just
issue
like,
here.
gosh. I hope he is able to end generational trauma in this way with his children, but also your children did not need to know this.
Thank you.
Your children did not need to know this, and certainly not in this,
Not
vulgar
like
manner
this.
on the internet. Like, I just, wow. I have so many thoughts.
Yes. I feel like he's not going to get the help that he definitely needs.
Oh no. He's moved on. He's already been tweeting a million other things.
Yeah, I'm Sure.
I'm not following everything that he's tweeting, and we certainly won't talk about all of that here. But we can't just come on
No.
this internet and
No.
not acknowledge that this was what everyone has been talking about this week. Well, I'll leave that there.
Okay.
I'll leave that there.
I'm going to step right over it.
Okay. So moving right along. Was that a bump? No. What bump? Okay. So my other question for you is
Another question.
and this might come as a shocker for you because I actually watch this podcast, but is the Dear Future Wifey podcast problematic, or at least part of the microphone holding men's club that continues to bless us with gems?
Oh, that's
say that.
spicy.
Bless us with gems. So I'm gonna bring
What kind of gems?
I'm gonna send this one to you, and you can play.
Oh, wow.
This is the Dear Future Wifey podcast, for those who don't know. And it's hosted by Latarius Whitfield. Latarius Whitfield, I want to say that's how you say his name.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Here I am, just like a parrot, like, allegedly. Please don't sue me. Okay.
He might be the host. I don't know. That might be his name. I don't know.
This is all
I'm just some kid with a microphone.
And so he has done some really great podcasts, right? This is someone who left, or who is a divorced man, has admittedly cheated on his spouse. She did not forgive him. And now this podcast is apparently, allegedly, founded out of a love letter to his future wife, scripturally,
Okay.
if the Lord should will it,
That he gets married again.
yes.
He wants to do it right, I'm assuming. And
yeah. And so he talks about a lot of that. He interviews a lot of couples who are Christians, who are Black, oftentimes, most of the time. He interviews individuals as well that have gone through controversy, that are kind of in that Black couple space.
yeah,
He did an interview with Derek Jackson's wife that gave her a platform while they were going through that whole scandal.
He sure did. I thought
then
remember
turned
you
around
seeing
and
that.
did an interview with Derek Jackson, and that was one of those times that, to be honest, I side-eyed him as well. I understand you want to get both people's side of the perspective, but
And he want to get those numbers.
yeah,
Because if you got her story, people would itch to find out what he's got to say. I'm sure.
Right. Well, people were itching to find out what she had to say as well.
Yeah, but
there
I'm
was
talking about the
two-part
response.
interview. Yeah.
It was a 2-part. Yo,
yeah,
that brother got
with
paid. He had to.
With her, yes. And so, anyway, and so he continues to bring on. So I'm going to let you listen to, I want to say, go to 2035 and let's just hear that part first.
2035.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll give a little bit more context. I'm not hearing it, I think.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I am bringing it up to.
Now, I don't have these memorized, so bear with me.
Bad. And I had my 2 babies with me trying to leave, and I put my hand on the door. And I'm not going to say God told me to stay or leave, but I felt like I couldn't leave. And I cried because I felt like I can't leave. I can't leave. And I went to bed that night, and I had a dream of him preaching.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next morning. Well, first of all, you were upset that I was still home.
Yeah, because I got home. I'm like, I thought you were moving to Virginia with the 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I had a dream that you became a preacher. I said, that's not going to happen.
Right.
I said, just because my dad does that mean I got to be disciplined and committed. And I'm not trying to be either one.
Right. And he said, I'm going to keep on smoking this weed and chasing these women.
Yeah.
That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
And
now, this is her husband.
But I just felt like that dream could
They're giving
happen.
their testimony.
I
so
believed
let's
it.
give them some grace while we're listening.
And one night, shortly after that, I was by myself because the marriage was still horrible, crashing. And I felt like I was going to lose my mind. because, you know, you have all these moments. You know, God's amazing because you'll have moments of clarity and then moments of complete confusion.
Yeah.
And I was rocking back and forth. Remember, like, I'm going to lose my mind because he had left again. It's gone again. And I heard the enemy tell me, you should die. You're not you're not worthy of anything. You should, you know, end your life and he'll never love you and all this stuff. And somehow, some way I was able to call on the name of Jesus. And when I called on his name, I literally felt his arms wrap around me. And that was my first encounter. I wasn't at church. I was by myself. There was no music playing. The lights weren't dim. None of that. It was me and Jesus. And I had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So he would call me out my name. It wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you, I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. But once I knew who I was, I realized, oh, the enemy's after him. So I began to pray for him, not for my husband before, but as a soul. I didn't want him to be lost. Whether we made it or not, I didn't want him to be lost. I wanted him to be in his purpose because of that one dream I had that lasted about 2 seconds.
And this is all true because I can remember before she had this encounter with God, I would come home 2-3 days later. My clothes would be bleached.
Yeah.
I would find my toothbrush floating in the toilet. So, and then the blessing is that she wasn't home because she would have probably died.
Oh, I have wisdom. Wisdom says you leave after you do that.
I'm looking at my K-Swiss back then. I'm looking at my IOU sweater, my jeans.
Yeah, I bleached it all.
I bleached. And so weeks later, now I'm coming home 2-3 days later. And she's like, what do you want for dinner?
Yep.
He's like, I don't know if I'm going to eat that. You're going to poison me.
I said, she's going to kill me.
Right.
Now I'm sleeping with one eye open.
Yes. I'd run his bath
You're
water.
acting too nice right now.
Yeah,
What's going on?
like, wait a minute now. You know, I've been gone for 72 hours.
Yes.
Why are you treating me nice?
Right.
You want to, then I'm looking to make sure she don't throw grease on me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
all of that. But then I started waking up with crosses on my head.
Because the mothers of the church said, pray for him with anointed oil. And I couldn't afford olive oil, so I just got the Crisco at home and blessed it. And I just put it on his head and his hands and his feet. He'd wake up all greasy.
Yeah.
Looking like 3-day-old chicken.
Right.
Greasy and hungover. He'd be like, what are you doing?
And then she would tell me, you gonna preach? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Proverbs 18:21, of course, says death and life is in the power of the tongue.
And they that love it eat the fruit thereof.
There
That's
you go.
right.
And she would speak those
And
things.
he would not go to church.
No.
I would always be there.
Yeah.
And then he would call me a holy roller. Then he'd get me mad, and then I'd end up cussing him out. He'd be like, where's Jesus now? You know.
It was been a devil in
Yes,
himself.
yes, he was.
So Reggie, when you were hearing her say this, and this is conflicting with your spirit, because of course she's battling against that the evil spirit that's inside you. She's warring against that.
Yeah.
What in your subconscious? Because there's always moments where in the Bible it says the prodigal son says, and he came to himself.
Right.
So in those moments where that battle is taking place, what were you thinking internally? Even though your mouth may be uttering, "You crazy, you this," but the words that you weren't saying. Can you go back to that moment and tell me internally what were you saying? What were you seeing her as?
You know, I saw her as the enemy.
Right.
You know, I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna stay black and die, like she said, and chase women, smoke weed. That's where my mind was, because I've been overtaken.
Yeah.
You know, I was having fun. Even the Bible says that sin is good for a season. So I was having a phenomenal time. The last thing I wanted to be was connected to her, connected to the church.
Right.
Because then that's work.
So why did you stay? Why were you still coming home?
Because I had 2 kids. Well, then by that time we had 3. I was always a phenomenal father. I was a horrible husband.
Yeah, he was.
You know, but when it came to my kids, you know what I'm
If
saying?
you are
So you
gone
had
for
been
3
outside the
days at a
home as a
time, and
failure.
it's not for
But
work.
you had to stay in the
Go ahead,
household.
go ahead,
no matter
Parker.
how
Put
you
the-
showed up as a husband, but you wasn't.
Okay, so this is a preacher and a pastor and first lady.
This is their testimony.
This is their
This
testimony.
This is their testimony.
Yeah. Their testimony to me is so problematic. And this is my issue, right? Is that we are we are just in this time where we have people like this man giving this testimony, talking about the ways in which he's humiliated his wife and the ways in which she found, or at least is giving the testimony that God found glory in this. And listen, I am
Yes.
not going to ever short God's work and that he can find a way to redeem. However, when she says, I would not recommend this unless you are graced by God to do so, may God never grace, may this grace never find me. I just, this type of grace. And it's kind of like, when you have people that say, I don't pray for patience because they have gone down that road before.
Mm.
And here's my thing.
Mm.
This is what ends up happening with today's internet of men with microphones want to tell you this is, and look at her, right? And look at her.
Why can't you be like her? She's stuck by her man.
And she's godly and she's submissive and she prayed.
That's what they would say. See, she's submissive.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel like we have young women who, run from Christianity because they think that this is what submissive looks like.
You submit to a godly man who is leading in a godly way. That's because you're submitting to God's will. And if you're following your husband, he should be following God, and you're submitting to that.
And then we have this where if you could go to 3408.
Oh, okay. There is more.
Well, no, this is yes, and it's not necessary, but then we have, this kind of.
Hey, you hush up there, commercial.
Boo, commercial, we won't listen to you.
Frame or state, because this is your story. This is your journey.
My story.
It's your story.
Right.
Sure. What would you say to the women that may be looking at this and say, see, that's that nonsense they talking about?
Well, I would say that's why you're single still. Because I'm sure somebody had been in your life already, and you didn't want to give the investment for that person to become somebody, and then you lost them probably a long time ago, and you should have just worked with them from the beginning and just worked out the kinks and worked it out, because a man can always build.
No, you're not working out he's working out his kinks.
And this is what I'm saying, right? Is because this is what someone then hears when someone like me or other women that are of the Christian faith, the other women that talk about a godly marriage, this is what they're hearing. They want to say that, and when I say build with someone, find someone who meets most of the things that you're looking for, that no one is perfect, that you're going to find that you are not perfect, and then they hear this, right? Stay with them. Let them continue to abuse you. Let them continue to humiliate you, to drag you through the street. And then when all that's said and done, and he done got all this, and now he's sitting and then he sits his butt on this couch, and now he's a preacher, and now because you're sitting on this couch, and he has probably a mega church.
I don't know
that he is preaching to.
Who is this feller?
They are pastors Reggie and Kelly Steele of Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Tracy Ellis Ross has been getting dragged, right? And it is for this appearance on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast. Where is my link?
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Okay.
What? So she's getting dragged for what she said. Oh wait, is this the? This is not the just the clip itself, is it? Hold on.
I guess not.
Let me figure out where the clip itself. Let me figure out where the clip itself is.
Okay. And while we wait, I will tell you about our sponsor, Nobody.
Go ahead and run that ad. We don't have one. Okay, so I guess go ahead and let it play, and then just skip ahead until she stops talking.
Skip ahead and
and uncle talk about relationship and marriage and navigating these things. And so it was actually a really good watch if you're interested. I definitely recommend going to watch it. Love Michelle Obama, love Tracy, and then having her older brother there for an older male perspective was great as well. So let's go ahead and check out what Tracy Ellis Ross said.
It's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
It's a generational thing, so it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously
Too big of a generalization.
It's a generalization, but because I have dated men my age, there is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that. There's so many different philosophies on dating, and I have come up with mine. I have come up with what works for me and what makes sense for me and what feels safe for me.
Now, Tracy is getting a lot of hate. You know, some men feel attacked. Some women are saying...
Yes. So, Tracy appeared on Michelle Obama's podcast called IMO. I think it's In My Opinion, and it's with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, her brother. And so they've had a lot of celebrity guests on. Tracy Ellis Ross started the segment talking about how she, had to deal with, being of a particular age. She's 52. She's 52 years old. She never had children. She never got married. And there is some mourning and loss there, but also there's some beauty that she's found in it, and how she talked about at the beginning of this clip, knowing herself very well, finding and intimately knowing herself and being very firm in what she needs and what she knows. And so that creating very specific guidelines around a true partner for her and what that looks like in life, and how she has had negative, in her own experience, dating experiences with men her own age. And so men were dragging her throughout the manosphere. I mean, everywhere from Joe Budden podcast, acting intentionally obtuse about how they don't understand how she can't find a man with who she is, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and all these other things, and she must not want a man, and that's why she's dating this person, that person, that's why she's dating children, and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, she never said who she dates, what age she dates. I don't even think I ever actually hear about her dating anyone. That is how private she is. But just that there is openness in youth and dating someone younger. And I don't know, we all know some 50-year-old men.
It's just the inverse of something that as a society we're already comfortable with.
Right.
That as a society it's been acceptable for as long as history books have been written. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it is not for me, but that age gap thing is like it. I mean, it is the norm for a lot of people. I know of several women whose husbands of 30 years are like 20 years older than them. I have a good friend whose wife is 15 or more years younger than him.
Right.
Okay.
And
so what, Tracy Ellis Ross? Like, date younger men.
It would seem like it would be that simple, right? It would seem like we should be able to leave it there. She's not doing anything that's that abnormal for any other person, man or a woman her age.
They're acting like she said, I date high schoolers. And that's not what she said. She said she date a 35-year-old man would be a younger man. to her.
To her, exactly.
And that's a grown man.
That is a grown man. Remember that. That is a grown man. But what the manosphere is angry about is that she...
Manosphere?
Yeah, well, we're talking about, the Joe Buttons. We're talking about
Listen, I don't really
the
respect
single men with
Mm.
the microphones
Yeah, fair
that
enough.
like to talk about how she's generalizing, how she's dried up, how she's hit the wall, and that how she's gonna be like Vivica A. Fox and turn down, all the good men and then turn around and be 66 and say she's ready to find a husband when she has nothing left to give them with her dried up eggs and all this other stuff, right? And so if
If a
that is the
man is still
case,
looking to
though,
have children at 66, I feel like something is going on with him too. Like,
well, right, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And then by contrast, right, so people are eating her alive. Hold on.
because she has a preference in who she wants to date in her that seems, and I know content creation on the internet, it is rife with judgment. But still, it seems like a big nothing burger to me.
It does. It would seem like it's a big nothing burger. And yet, hold on.
She knows who she is. She wants to date younger men because in her generation, and you know this to be true, neighbors, you know it to be true that there is a much bigger issue with gender roles and gender identity in that generation. And I know that it is not everywhere, but it is much more acceptable amongst people in the millennial age range
Right.
and younger to be open to other people sleeping with who they want to sleep with and being who they want to be. So
Okay.
I get where she's coming from, and
Hold on, let me.
We're
just
not
going
going to give you the satisfaction. All right, that's disrespectful. That's empowering the patriarchy. So they'll use terms like partner.
Yeah. And partner, the funniest thing is, I will never understand this. So in the manosphere, you have men railing against the idea of being married. This is the thing about the manosphere that's hilarious to me. The manosphere is not a monolith, by the way. I know people think that about the manosphere.
we are not
It's
a monolith.
So there's one consistent theme, and that theme is we need to figure out a way to oppress women and steal their labor, pretty much. But outside of that, there are many ways of achieving this and many schools of thought. But you have like a group of men who believe that marriage is of the devil. Why would I ever...
Wait, hold on. That is not the clip I meant to put.
Excuse me, sir. What?
Okay, never mind. I'm just going to move on.
We're moving on?
Yeah, I'm going to move on past that one. 'Cause
Okay.
I can't seem to find it. Can't find the clip that I wanted to play to talk about, but that's okay. We can just keep moving right along.
Okay.
So with that, we have the reaction to Tracy Ellis Ross. Like I said, men literally crashing out about the fact that she was basically generalizing an entire generation, that she doesn't want to be a submissive woman. That's why she chooses younger men. That, the men her age don't want her for this reason because,
I
she
doubt that very much.
doesn't need a man. She could never need a man because of all of these other things. And so men know when they're not needed, that there's nothing there in the relationship. And I think by need a man, and I think it's really interesting
They
in
mean
that
financially.
right.
They only mean
They only
financially.
ever mean financially. You can only ever need a man if he is financially dominant over you, apparently. And so, so we go from that and completely dragging her to then news breaks of Shannon Sharpe being sued for $50 million by a 20-year-old OnlyFans star with whom he was in a relationship with for a year.
Mm-hmm.
She is suing him for rape and battery.
Okay.
So she's 20 now. Okay.
Yeah, that's
This took place when he met her at a gym when she was 18 or 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And they continued a relationship. Apparently, there are 2 incidences that happened. She brought it to him. She told him she was going to sue him. And then she said that and then he tried to settle the case for $10 million. She did not take it, and so now she's suing him. So Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe has been accused of by a woman under the pseudonym Jane Doe in a 13-page, $15 million civil suit. Now it is a civil suit, filed Sunday and obtained by the Post. The complaint filed in Nevada State alleges that ESPN personality committed A and SA and B and SB and engaged in intentional infliction of emotional distress during a rocky but consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years with a woman more than 30 years younger than him. So Shannon Sharpe is like 56 years old.
Yes,
I want to say. So let's say he was 55 at the time. She was 19, 18, 19. The complaint accusing him of threatening to unalive her multiple times, being manipulated and controlling, repeatedly threatening to brutally and violently. So Sharpe denied the allegations and coerced misconduct.
Of course he would. Who
in
wouldn't?
a statement through his counsel. One time specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in his room, the complainant states. Terrified for her safety, the plaintiff tried sharing her location with her friends from her iPhone just in case, but Sharpe saw her doing this, and the moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her that if she ever did that again, he would effing unalive her. The complaint claims that Sharpe recorded the two involved in acts together without her knowledge and then shared these videos with his friends and associates without her knowledge or permission as well. A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. That's the first page of the complaint. So Sharpe, through his lawyer, releases a slew of... Oh, wait, let me back up. So when this came out, just before this came out, it was announced that he was going to reach a historic $100 million media deal for Club Shay Shay. He's had a lot of successful interviews. If you think Call Me Daddy, if you think Joe Rogan podcast, these are the same types of backers that were about to infuse money into Club Shay Shay and reach a contract with him. Interesting to see where that stands.
Yeah.
Now that this has come out. Shannon is calling this a shakedown, and he released a statement after quite a bit of pressure. I will play that statement, but first I want to talk about his lawyer releasing a slew of text messages through
Signal. Just kidding.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the text messages. So, initial thoughts while I find that.
Well, I mean, first of all, the age gap is gross to me because that's a whole generational age gap. 30, 35 years is just like, oh, you guys have working out in common? that seems like it's about it. You're life experiences don't match up like at all, and that I don't think that's what you're supposed to be learning from your elders.
What do you have to talk about as a 50-year-old man with a 19-year-old? You can't even take that girl for a drink.
Not legally. Not legally.
You are okay.
Yeah, no. And so
I mean,
it's gross
for
to
perspective,
me.
she is older than some of his children.
What?
Or I mean, no, younger than some of his
Okay, I
children.
was
Sorry,
like,
she is obviously she should be older than some of. She is younger, I think, than some of his children, which to me is just really gross. Mind you. Just meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe has 3 children by 3 women. Let's just Dusty.
yeah.
He is a very rich, very wealthy Dusty. If he was any other man with his exact same looks and appearance and baby mamas and children, that would be.
But because he's a millionaire.
Because he's a millionaire, we're all gonna, windmill and duck and dodge and justify.
Because who am
Especially
I?
men.
I'm not a millionaire.
And
how many millions do I have? None. And it doesn't justify the behavior. The alleged behavior. It does not.
So his
do
lawyer...
you think it's a
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think it's a cash grab, a shakedown?
So that's what everybody's saying. It's a shakedown. It's obviously a civil suit, right?
Yes.
So she's suing for money. So I cannot say that she is not trying to get money from a man with a $50 million civil lawsuit. But
because trying him criminally is liable to get you laughed out of the courtroom without hard evidence,
right? To me, in situations like this, I think that I try to keep this perspective of the idea of many people found it to be justice that O.J. Simpson, even though he was found not guilty in a criminal court of law, his family, or Nicole Simpson Brown's family sued him civilly and won. Now, that might not have been many black people, but but still, many people who felt like he was guilty found that when they sued, some justice had been served.
Yeah.
If the beyond a reasonable doubt burden of proof is difficult, especially in a situation like this, when we're listening to how people think and when we see how people think about what's happening right now. It's a cash grab. She's an OnlyFans star. His lawyer released a slew.
A whole Believe Women movement, and it's like what you told me about the hiring practices of felons of different ethnic backgrounds,
right,
versus non-felons with the same qualifications, exact same resumes,
right. And so his lawyer's response was to release a trove of text messages from or between Shannon and the young girl. Now, one thing that I want to say is that you don't have to do it under the table. Yes. So she is, yes.
Okay. I mean,
yes. So she
I assumed, and I was right yet again.
Right. We were
every time you
slopes.
tell me one of these stories, I ask, and it's the same story. So now I'm conflicted.
And this is right. And see, now this is also why a bunch of black men are saying, he just should have known better. He shouldn't have been messing with. Even Dr. Umar sent up here, oh, well, he should have known better. This was a setup from the beginning. And here's my thing, though. The lawyer releases a bunch of text messages where she's talking about, I want like some hardcore BDSM action, though. She at one point says, I want you to put a dog collar on me and choke me. There are some very wild, just diabolical text message where she tells him to come and put that big black baby gravy in her there's just, I mean, so he's very much clearly
Dude.
into some race play.
Yep. Just
in
degrading
private. Yeah.
type stuff.
And she tells him,
you know she called him in the
listen.
You know.
Put that big
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm saying. So the men's is talking, and they talking about how this was a setup. It's a shakedown. She does have recordings of him. And in the text messages, she says that he needs what?
Do it harder.
Right. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I can't take him anywhere.
That was cathartic.
And so, you know, at one point she talks about that he's going to be paying $25,000 per cheek and all these kind of things.
Hey, for what?
And so here's my thing is I feel like there's an obvious exchange that's happening here between the two of them. And I feel like more than one thing can be true at once. It sounds like he was paying for it and he knew it. And hello, duh, she's 19. You are a wealthy man.
Yeah, bro.
Do you really think that she is genuinely attracted to your 56-year-old self?
She's not attracted to your bags.
Without the money, look at you, look at her.
Yeah.
Be reasonable. And so to me, you already knew that. You already knew that she was dealing with you for your money. It sounds like you were already paying for it. You immediately offered to get her in some of these text messages a boob job, all of these other kinds of things. She's very clearly playing with how much money you're paying her for what's between her legs. So I don't feel like that's a duh, right?
It's a big duh.
You were definitely paying for it. Should you have been messing with a 19-year-old? Gross, sir. Gross. Yeah. That is disgusting.
Buh.
And all the men talking about it's legal.
That is.
You are telling them yourself.
Dude,
just
there are many things that used to be legal. It doesn't make them right or palatable.
She was 19. She's a teenager.
Her
she
brain
was a
is
child.
not even fully developed. Come on, dude.
Stop it. And you are 3 times her age. So, yes, he could be paying for it. But here's my thing. Even if all those things are true, she was there for the money. He
really is 3 times her age.
She was, scheming and whatever. Because it sounds like she was telling you that. In a text message, she says, "You're going to be stuck with me when you put that big black baby in me." Dude. Sounds like she was trying to trap you. It sounds like you kind of liked the idea that you were paying for it.
Yeah.
It seems like you like the idea of race play. Now, you effed around and found out. But my thing is, all of those things could be true. She can be kinky. She could be very...
But no means no. And it means no the first time. It is very important to me that I don't ever hear no.
Right.
If I hear no, it's shut down. Get out of here. Okay. Yes, I will. Absolutely.
Yeah. Her text message says, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this." And he says almost 10 minutes later, "Can I call you later?"
Can I call you later? Because I'm not texting you anything in regards to this.
Right.
Are you kidding? No. I'll call you later and we can talk about this on a secure line.
Right. And so here, I just want you to understand what we're dealing with. Listen to this recording. She recorded him. It sounds like without his knowledge. I don't think in the state of Arizona she has to let him know. I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, allegedly. Okay. But here, I just want you to listen to this. And you tell me what you think when listening to this audio.
Arizona is a one-party consent state, meaning that you can record a conversation if you are a party to it, regardless of whether the other party is aware.
I be knowing.
I mean, I don't like continuing in ignorance.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
So that was pleasant. Sounds like a delightful...
One more. But can I just say, that sounds like a child.
Yeah, it does.
She sounds so young. Like, I already feel like a 19-year-old is a child to me, but she really I mean, does that not sound like...
And it makes it gross. She does not sound like a grown woman. And that... dude, okay.
Okay,
It makes me uncomfortable.
One more. And so this is the second audio she released. She released these 2 audios.
Coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
So, again, I'm not going to be naive here. I definitely think this, like, I don't want to be choked thing is definitely clearly some kind of, like, banter between the two of them about liking to be choked. I mean, she literally, like, comes in real aggressive with a put a dog collar on me. So I'm not going to be naive here and say, like, oh, she's scared of him. And he clearly then goes straight to the race play of a big black guy.
This is foreplay.
Right. This is their yes.
But the fact that he ignored what she said and went straight into the usual foreplay is what I have an issue with, is that he did not acknowledge what she was saying to him, which makes me feel really gross listening to that. It just got the ick all over, and get me out of this group chat.
It's literally so Shannon releases this statement. Where's his own statement? So I just can we just talk about the comparison? So think back to Tracee Ellis Ross.
Yep.
We're dragging her, and I don't know that she is dating teenagers. If she dates teenagers, then I will stand corrected. I will literally stand corrected. But
yes. If I'm going to be loud and wrong, I will be loud and apologetic. No problem.
But she's getting dragged for talking about the toxicity of the men in her age group. And to me, the first thing I thought about was, like, just in general, men, right? Not even necessarily famous men. But again, Tracee Ellis Ross is 52. Shannon Sharpe is how old?
56.
56 years old. They are in the same dating pool, or would be, except for Shannon Sharpe's ideal dating age is a teenager.
Yes.
And so you are dragging her, saying that she cannot find a man because of something that must be wrong with her. And in the meantime, hey, Unc, don't, well, you can't be letting these bunnies trap you up. This was a setup, Unc. We stand with you, Unc. This is a cash grab, Unc.
I'm gonna need y'all not to stand with them and just have several seats, please. Have several seats, because this is not an issue to stand with. No. Just let this man deal with this issue on his own.
Y'all are
This is
telling
between
on
him,
yourselves.
her, and the lawyers involved. Just sit this one out.
Y'all should not be co-signing this mess.
No.
This mess, but it's not
Don't
surprising.
die on that hill.
It is not surprising because, you know, as much money as they have, Cameron, Joe Budden, none of these men are good men. None of these men are good men.
Nah, bro. I don't take advice from anybody who messes with their dog like that. So
Oh my gosh, I forgot about
yeah,
that.
I can never forget about that. It forever shaped my opinion of that dude. So no, your opinion cannot be taken seriously from me at any point. No.
Okay, so here's his statement. Thank you for bearing with me. So here's his
Oh,
statement.
we could feel some dead air.
Here's his
This is a
statement.
shakedown.
Facing rape and sexual assault accusations, tonight Shannon Sharpe is not backing down.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
Today, the former NFL star turned podcaster posting this video statement in response to a Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship with Sharpe eventually led to multiple assaults. The lawsuit also accuses Sharpe of secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. The plaintiff, listed as Jane Doe, is represented by attorney Tony Busby, who has represented accusers in several high-profile sexual assault cases, and who Sharpe called out by name.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Also new today, Jane Doe's attorney releasing an audio clip alleging it
Okay,
shows
pause.
Sharpe threatening the plaintiff.
Okay, so Tony Busby, it represents many people who have lawsuits against Diddy.
Okay.
He also has represented a young lady who filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z that was completely thrown out because of its credibility. So that's what a lot of people are leaning on, is the idea that since he seems to be attacking black men, and most recently with Jay-Z, it was somewhat proven to be discredited because she said that her dad picked her up from the hospital. Her dad was like, I have no recollection of this. She said so-and-so was there. These other artists were around and watched it happen or something, or saw her go up into the hotel room.
They all have alibis.
No, those other artists, well, they weren't involved in the crime, but those other artists were like on tour in
That's what
another
I'm saying.
country.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
they
So
weren't-
they
they weren't
wouldn't
there.
have been there. Right.
They all have alibis to be witnesses to this alleged crime.
Right.
So
And so
no, thank you.
So this last lawsuit against Jay-Z has been kind of a
But we saw
discredit
the
to his name.
hotel footage of Diddy.
Right.
So
I don't think he represents Cassie, but he does represent some other individuals who are
I'm just
suing
saying
Dizzy.
that
Dizzy,
that
Diddy.
that footage
I've heard it
from
both
the
ways.
hotel gave insight to how Diddy would treat his female guests or
Mhm.
male guests, or you know what,
Right.
or any of his guests.
So my other question is what is on this tape that would make you want to tell someone to release 10 minutes of your sex tape? That you're like, oh, this needs context.
See,
this needs
you're
more
gonna 30
sex
seconds of
so you
every
can
racial
understand.
stereotype in a sexual situation that you can ever imagine. It's like 1860 in there. Go ahead and release it. I would if I had it, but I don't.
So he's stepping down from ESPN
Oh,
Because,
really?
well, hello, do you
I
know
bet
who owns ESPN?
some white dude.
Disney.
Oh,
You cannot.
yeah, you can't. Nope.
This cannot be happening to you right
No,
now.
it cannot.
Not with Disney.
Nope. They got an image to uphold and protect. Bye-bye.
So
I
he's
hope
stepping aside until the start of the NFL season. I imagine that he told them that this will all be cleared up. But
he
it
does
is
not know that.
insane. That's the only thing that is a huge red flag to me. Is not the only thing. There's a lot of red flags. Let me back up. Let me back up. There's a lot of red flags. But one thing that is just like blowing my mind is Tony Bugsby is going to release 30 seconds of a clip that he made. I'm assuming they sent it to him.
Of a 10-minute sex tape.
Of a 10-minute sex tape. And he's
Release
like, no,
all 10 minutes.
Release all 10 minutes instead of your
It
edit.
needs context. Skip.
Needs more context. It needs more context. And so remember earlier when I was telling you about the meme video when she was like, less. I would like to know less about you.
Yes.
Yes.
That's been
Please excuse my terrible
every
singing.
story so far. Are you not every story, but good Lord. I'm glad we didn't finish with Kanye because
right? It just got worse from there. You didn't think when I started with Kanye that it could get worse. Okay, and that's all that I had. Are you okay? How are you doing? How you doing? What are your thoughts? Final thoughts on Shay? On Unc. What are your final thoughts on Unc?
That he presents as kind of a gross old man that got what was coming to him in a way because he engaged in very risky behavior with somebody who was very young and money hungry. And you dumb, like what were you thinking? Like what you're supposed to be teaching younger black men that this will happen if you do these dumb things, and you're doing these dumb things. So I have no sympathy for this.
Right.
I have no sympathy for this. You fool. Like those are my thoughts. You dumb. Like, make better choices. You are a moderately attractive, extremely wealthy black man. You can find an age appropriate woman that you could bring into your lifestyle and do all of these horrible things, but it wouldn't satisfy that race baiting kink that he clearly has.
Right, because what self-respecting woman, or black woman especially, is going to let you talk to her and degrade her in a way that maybe a 19-year-old would?
Yeah, no, I get that, but in the sense of fulfilling each other's bedroom fantasies in the confines of a safe, healthy relationship, you can explore those kinks, and I feel like it might not end in this.
But BDSM requires trust and respect
from both parties.
And it doesn't sound like that was present in this relationship. And so I think that that's the issue. That's my issue. Is like, again, I'm not saying it's not a shakedown. It sounds like we knew this from the beginning. It almost sounds like they agreed that this was a shakedown, that she was going to benefit financially from this relationship. It was a shake. I cannot take you anywhere. We have had the most serious conversations. You just cannot help yourself.
I can't.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't.
Okay, we gotta get to your things. But I just want to say, final note here. I'm not saying it's not a shakedown. It sounds like it was a shakedown from the beginning. It sounds like he was throwing money at it.
Yes, he was. And he absolutely expected to be able to stay in the dominant position and do whatever he pleased to this person.
Right.
Without repercussions.
To me, all of these things, all of these very derogatory
Allegedly.
Shout out to Jesse. All of these derogatory and debasing text messages, all these kinky situations. You can have all of these fantasies, proclivities, and all of that, and that does not exclude the fact or disprove, to me at least, that this person could have been, essayed.
Essayed, yeah. Because no means no. And the fact that this person chose to say that you can have consensual relations 99 times out of 100, and that, that one, it's that one, like, look, that one is important. The shepherd went after that one lost sheep, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that one is important. It needs to be tended to. It needs to be treated with the respect, even if you don't get what you want in the moment.
Right.
But if you are rich, you are used to getting what you want when you want it. Delayed satisfaction, not really a thing for somebody who can just pay for it.
Okay. Because you just said that, just this last thing, if I can find it. Here we go. Because you said that, and then I'm gonna throw it to your news. But because you said that, Keri Hilson also got dragged this week, and here's why.
Whole video?
No. Where is it?
And I'm probably going to get a lot of... Who is this?
This is Cam Newton and Keri Hilson. So Cam Newton is a former football player.
Okay.
He's in a very controversial relationship. This is another blink blink moment where I've brought you someone who, news about him. He's been in the news himself about his own
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
He continues to embarrass his woman, but because he's a high value man.
Don't no.
And his woman has conditioned, and then she's his best friend, so he's able to confide in her with his cheating. Make him not want to hide it. But anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Okay, yeah. No.
Oh yes. Okay, so I guess the whole thing, yes.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Just real quick. We'll probably end up stopping it.
Yeah, athletes, I think, if I can be real, this is what I say to my girlfriends about my experiences with the two. I've only dated 2 athletes, so I'm not going to speak generally, but I do also, I'm friends with wives still. And I had learned a lot, because again, I'm an observer in the world. So I had learned a lot about what the women in the athletes' lives have, what they felt and what the experience was, whether they would say it or not. But a lot of them would be vocal. But athletes, you guys have never, I won't say never, but very seldom were you challenged on being a good partner or a good brother or a good son or a good student.
How about this?
Or a good...
You say everything that you want to say, and I will correct if needed.
Okay.
Right. So then why did you have to stop
I'm being
her?
careful because I'm talking to an athlete. I don't want to offend you.
Triggered.
Trust me.
Or anyone else, but...
He would not have interrupted her.
Yeah, I think that you guys have relationally, you're stunted because a lot of people have appeased and placated you. And so you've gotten your way with women, with teachers, with sometimes pastors. You know what I mean? Because everyone's a fan, or nobody wants to be in the way of you making it, and so women don't challenge a certain side of you relationally. And so in my experience, and again, that's mine and the experience of those who I'm from, who I would speak with. In my experience, that was a parent that just stunted, emotionally stunted, like learning things. We're talking in 30s that maybe someone by 21 would have known. You know what I mean?
Like
relational things, like how to be honest, or I mean, so many things. Yeah. But how to express. You know what I mean? How to be mature about
I would agree with you.
Just certain things that.
I will agree with you, but I think.
And it wasn't your focus. Not to cut you out, but it wasn't y'all's focus. Relationships.
Not to cut
Couldn't
you.
have been your focus. You were
right. He kept cutting
paid
her off
to run the ball down the field or pass the. You know what I mean? And you were paid to do very specific things that anything else that required other things from you, really.
Okay. Thoughts. And I played it. I was gonna skip this, but because you talked about not
mean,
being prioritized as a partner. I just wanted to play that and see.
I mean, what she said is 100% correct in my experience, in anecdotal evidence and uh, firsthand experience from watching how people treated athletes, especially star athletes in high school and college, especially college.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, college, because they were getting to pass classes that they didn't have to attend, do homework for. And I know that they are making the school a whole bunch of money.
I mean, you have to be if the school's going to pay you $2 million.
That's now. Back then, they weren't allowed to get paid from being in a video game or whatever.
But imagine how valuable they must have been then.
Oh yeah, when they were slave labor.
Right. Okay. So, all in all, like I said, I know this was a long walk, but I just find it interesting how, there's always a reason, an explanation, an excuse. It's always, the choice of dating history, which, by the way, I really wonder if we're gonna get the Jonathan Majors, Luther King Jr. as Jesse would say, treatment. Who's going Megan Good him? Who's going Megan Good Shannon Sharpe? That's my question. But all in all, my sentiment of my segment, my theme this week, I sent you a link because I found it just in the nick of time for your listening pleasure, live from our table. Gotta start it over before you. This is the theme of all of my picks this week, because my thread was filled with this stuff, not this video, but this is how I feel overall about my thread this week. Yeah, why was it not playing in the... I would like to know less about you. I would like to know less. Can we go back in time to when your business wasn't mine? Bring back secrets and shame. Wish I never even knew your name. I would like to know less about you. I would like to Amen, know somebody. Less. I would like to know less about you. I would like to know less. Some things are inside thoughts. Next time, maybe not.
Watch, Kanye's gonna sample this.
All over my FYP. I would like to know less about you. I am a Jay-Z meme right now. Just... Get a journal. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So oh Lord. Okay.
That was a ride.
That was a ride.
You doing
I hate your internet. I don't like it. It's not. That is a For You page. I would be pissed if my phone spat that nonsense at me. I would be so hot. I'd be like, what? Nope. I quit.
How did we get here?
I missed that show.
We became...
Rest in peace, Amber Ruffin.
Right. Right.
Not that I wish
she's
all
not
the
dead.
she's not dead,
guys.
just her
dead.
show.
Amber Ruffin had an amazing
It was the best. It was the second best
The Amber Ruffin show was amazing.
late night talk show.
It was the best.
Because Craig Ferguson was still.
Oh, that was a good show.
That was I don't know. I don't think anybody ever. But Amber Ruffin, close second.
Yeah.
Close second. I don't even know why I'm trying to get back into that conversation. Y'all can sit down and have.
So how you doing? What's going on in your internet this week?
Okay, so where's my little rundown? All right, so.
Can you make me a rundown?
All right, so. So I had things that I had to switch out here, and this is just cool stuff that I wanted you to see.
Okay.
This is like the watch this section. There's let me see if I can find. No, stop that. It's gonna doo every time I open up one of these because I got messages.
Oh, I see.
And so that is a real frustrating. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get through all of them so it doesn't do it every time I open up a new tab.
Oh, okay. You saved each one in a new tab, and so
yep,
you're
and so
getting the message every time.
Every single time. So we're all just gonna have to deal with it for about 4 more tabs, and I promise it won't take that much longer. Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Okay.
Okay. You know, we might even open with that one.
Okay.
Just avert your eyes. This is nothing. Don't even worry about it.
I am over 30. You know I can't read that.
Okay. What is it? Yeah, okay. Wait, where's the no, not that one. Oh, yep, this is. Okay. So this
Okay.
is just something that popped up on my timeline. Just, you know what? Just watch. Because I would send this to you with no context anyway.
Watch the terrifying moment a driver plunged a staggering 40-foot head-first off an unfinished bridge after following Google Maps on his phone. CCTV footage shows the BMW flying over the bridge, slamming bumper first onto the pavement and nearly flipping into oncoming cars.
He got lucky.
The shocking crash happened in Indonesia when a 61-year-old man took the wrong turn while following Google Maps and flew through a gap in the concrete barriers. Medics arrived at the scene and both the driver and his passenger miraculously survived the crash. The driver told reporters, "The road suddenly became dark and there were no other cars. Then I realized there was a problem when the car started falling and crashed on the ground. My friend said she's not getting in the car with me again."
My friend said they will never ride in the car with me again. Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding. I agree with your friend.
Yeah, so 40 feet, car just drove off an unfinished bridge.
Oh my God. How did you not know, first of all?
Because Google Maps told me. How is it that you were the only...
Sir, you had to have gone through a barrier. There is no entire way that you went on an unfinished bridge to nowhere and that there was not a barrier that you drove through.
This is why I always pay attention when I'm behind the wheel, even to the own detriment of conversation or landmarks that you're trying to point out to
Your
me.
relationship to the own detriment of his relationship is what he's trying to say. Oh my gosh, did you see that?
No. I did not. You
and
know what
not
I saw?
even like in a polite way. You don't
Nope.
sugarcoat it or anything. You're just like, no.
I know.
I'm driving. Like,
Because
okay,
I'm
got
focused.
it.
Everyone's life is in your hands when you're behind the wheel and you have passengers. It's
no,
not.
we appreciate you, Papa. We
It is not a
appreciate you,
light
even though it is
duty.
super annoying when I see something cool and you're. Did you see that? Did you
No,
see that really cool
I
thing
didn't.
over there?
I'm not
No.
going to look either. I'm not going to try to see it. I'm going to
No,
keep
you
driving.
see, yeah, but then you like to be a little condescending. You'll be, no, you see, because I'm driving.
Because it's been years of the same interaction, so I feel like I've earned the right to some condescension. Because you should know just as much as I know you're gonna ask. You should know that I'm not looking. No.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Okay, so we did that. Next, we're gonna get serenaded.
Oh Lord, is it a good serenade? Could it be a good serenade?
Can it be?
No, I can see the headline. It says, "My ears are on fire. How can I unhear this?" This does not bode well for this.
Okay, how do I start it over? You know what? I'll do that.
Oh my god.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Literally the worst song to be.
Amen. Amen.
You get through like 2 amens, and you're like, oh wait, I forget this song goes so entirely too long for you to be off key.
Yep. And
Amen.
I would not be keeping a straight face in church.
That's literally one of those moments where Pastor has to say, give the Lord some praise. Everybody. Amen. Give the Lord some praise.
Give the, yes. Ooh, give the Lord a big hand clap of praise. Okay. So, yep. Okay. Next is going to be a prank, apparently, that could get this young man harmed in the wrong store at the wrong time.
Okay.
So, now how is it? Oh, okay. Here we go.
If I can't hear you, think you can pick that box up for me? Good. He's so strong. Look at my man, bow.
Oh! Yo.
Bro, what's up? Nah, I'm saying you don't.
I don't even play like that.
No, it's like, you know how they say, like, that's how we greet people. We be like, my mans, my man. You not my mans, bro?
You said it like, bro, sus, like this.
You not my mans? Oh.
Not mans like that.
Bro, come on, bro. You not my mans? You tripping, bro. You supposed to be my mans. I can't pick this up by myself. Damn, bro.
Y'all neighbors play too much. You need to stop.
Okay, so there's only a few more no context. These I don't even really feel like there's a need to talk about it. I just want to
just like hit just
hit them with.
Just hit me.
Yeah. Okay, so this says paleo artists tend to underfeather drawings of dinosaurs based on fossils. Here's how swans would look if given the same treatment.
Under feather. Interesting.
And that's what swans would look like as a paleo draw. It for our audio listeners, these look like long-necked. I mean, just imagine what a swan looks like if it's ready for roasting on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Except it's just alive and well.
Think about like duck l'orange and a Chinese, or not l'orange because that's French. Like duck, what is that? Peking duck. Think about Peking duck hanging in a window at a Chinese shop, except for with like extra long neck.
And that big bump on its beak.
That is interesting because the Tyrannosaurus Rex, right, is supposed to have feathers now.
Mm-hmm.
Our son likes dinosaurs.
Okay, so it's got those little bitty arms, right? That could have been wings.
Well, look at audio listeners can't see it, but the wings on the swan look, very similar to how you see things drawn for T-Rex when you think about these tiny little arms that kind of go forward and then crane backwards.
Yeah, and imagine a T-Rex. They say that it was an apex predator, right? Imagine if that thing could use its wings to gust it forward and run as fast like an ostrich.
Yeah. Exactly.
10 times.
What if it could glide?
Bro.
Big, powerful legs, get some air under it, then that huge jaw.
It would just, yeah, because
it could glide.
I don't think it would be able to fly, but gliding?
No, but gliding, catching some air. And like you said, gusts forward. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Watch them try to bring one back to life. Like, what would it look like?
Right, because like who was like, man, you know what we are really missing? Dire wolves. Let's find some ancient DNA, mix it together.
They did the same thing with that
dogs. There shouldn't be any problem.
There was like a virus or something that was trapped in ice forever, and they were like, let's warm this up.
What you think? What you think gonna happen?
So there was a comedian that said that the world is not going to end with a bang. It's going to end with some scientist saying, "We did it."
Oh, Lord.
All right, so underfeathered, we're good.
Check.
Yep. All right, last one that we are going to watch just for the sake of watching is this one. It's called Unfortunately White.
Wait, you see the white?
Yeah, you're white.
From what?
Did you just figure out you were white?
No, like the real white. Just like the flashlight.
Well, because you're white, honey.
From what?
Because God made you white.
No, I'm not supposed to be this way.
What are you doing?
Wash the white off.
You can't wash the white off.
It's like spray paint.
Boy, it's not like spray paint. You are white.
It's like the white in colors.
The white.
It kind of looks like that white.
All right, listen.
My guy is playing the dozens by himself.
Turn my sink off.
It kind of looks like the toilet white.
Turn my sink off.
No, I'm washing the white off.
Boy.
Oh, you stupid white.
Oh. I felt a little bad for him at the end.
At the end there, yeah.
Yeah, he don't want to be white.
He does not want to be white. That kid listens to Gracie's Corner.
She got little white friends. They be bopping with her.
That kid's on Jules TV. He looked at Blippi. He's like, "That's not for me. I can't relate."
Poor kid. He got a whole bunch of black friends at school.
He does.
He said something, and they were like, "White boy," and he was like, "What?
What do you mean?"
He was shocked.
Scrub it off. Mama, do we have any cocoa butter?
Poor baby probably called somebody else white boy. It was like, "White boy, shut up, white boy." They were like,
He didn't understand what it meant.
"Oh,
Okay. Okay, no. I have one more. My poor voice. This is the best beatboxer I have ever heard in my life.
beatboxer."
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this and see
When you think you've seen it all,
see what's behind.
you'd better pay close attention now.
Yes.
But I'm only human.
Tibetan monk style.
But I'm only human.
Throat singing.
Don't put your blessing on me.
Because every sound you hear is coming straight from his mouth.
There's no way.
Yes.
I'm not a human. I'm only human. Don't put your blame on me. Come on now.
There's no way.
Yes.
I'm not a human. I'm not a human.
No, sir, you are not.
It's my opinion. Lures me to lie.
How do you beatboxing and singing?
You cry.
You have two vocal cords,
Making you
sir?
cry. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't want you blame on me. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't put your blade on me.
That is nuts.
Crazy, right?
That is insane.
That. Oh.
That's one of those times where I feel like if you were like, no, I'm just kidding, that's AI, I'd be like, okay, good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That make me feel better. It's not that it makes sense, it just would make me feel better because that's someone is doing that. I'm like, wait, no, you can't do that.
Okay,
That's
so
insane.
those are the cool things. I mean, there's plenty that didn't make the cut,
Yeah.
but those are the coolest things that I feel like I didn't waste a lot of time just sharing reels back and forth with you
Right.
and the resulting. So I was a bit more productive. So I
Throughout
could,
the week.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
I was able to wait until now to be able to just show you these few things uh, to filter out. Because I mean, I send them to myself, right?
Right.
But I'm gonna watch them, but wasting your time and mine. Because it's like, did you see that reel? Did you see that reel? Did you see that reel? And it's like,
There's
okay,
nuts, right?
I mean, so
You're not
then you got to
wasting my
catch
time,
up.
though. Like, I actually missed it a little bit. Because
Well,
it's like,
I mean, I miss it too, but it's because I want to be able to talk to you and get your reaction to, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this.
excuse me, Papa. Excuse me, Papa.
I want you to talk to me. It's like, all right, so. All right, so first, we have a story that is headlined 7-year-old boy dies after woman allegedly sent poisoned Easter eggs to ex's family in revenge plot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That made me choke on my water a little bit.
Cordelia Pereira Barbosa, I think is how you pronounce it, from Brazil, has been arrested on suspicion of lacing chocolate eggs to her boyfriend's new family that left 2 people in critical condition and unalived a child. Barbosa is accused of purchasing, spiking, and sending the lethal chocolate to her former partner's girlfriend and her family, as local police say she was driven by revenge and jealousy. The 35-year-old allegedly purchased the Easter eggs from a supermarket and is accused of spiking them before allegedly having them delivered to the home of her ex-boyfriend's new partner. Barbosa allegedly saw the eggs delivered by a motorcycle courier and even added a note with the gift that read, "With love to Miriam Lira, Happy Easter," as per the Daily Mail. Lira then said to have shared the gift with her children, a 7-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl, last Wednesday. The boy this was published on the 21st of April, and this is by Liv Bridge on Unilad. So, credit where credit is due. The boy reportedly fell ill immediately after eating the chocolates and passed away just hours after arriving at Imperatriz City Hospital. Meanwhile, the girl and her mom remain in critical condition from the same hospital, with both said to be intubated, according to reports. The cause of death was yet to be determined by officials, with forensic analysis while forensic analysis is ongoing on the remaining chocolates to confirm possible poisoning. Civil police caught Barbosa while she was on a bus going to her home in Santa Ines. I don't know Portuguese, so on Thursday, after shopping, a shopping receipt was found that indicated she had bought them. CCTV footage further appeared to show her buying the chocolates.
Where is this? So this is in
Brazil.
This is in Brazil?
Brazil.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That is insane. That is insane. You're talking about a boyfriend. This is a boyfriend. Okay. I have a very wise friend who has been a good friend to me, older than me forever, and guided me and was a good example and even a bad example sometimes to me in college, as an older college student herself. And one of the most important things she ever told me during our college years was, don't go to jail for anybody.
Yep.
Don't go sit your happy behind in a jail cell for somebody else. That has many applications.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
That can be taken in many ways. And I am thankful for that advice. This is one of those situations. She needed someone to tell her,
just leave him alone.
if that man wants to leave, bye.
You can find another man.
Sure can.
You can. You can. I promise you, you can.
And would have been happier off without him. That is it. That is.
Yes.
And that baby. Oh,
That poor baby.
wow.
She.
Wow.
And that's what made me.
And then again, you wonder why. Even oftentimes we will, and sorry to anybody who has given us something, because now this is going to spill the tea.
Yeah.
But I will often accept a gift and decide later and figure it out later.
He usually doesn't get it.
He just doesn't get it
He
most of the time.
Mm-mm.
You know, a lot of times someone, oh, here's a bag of here's a okay.
I've
thank
gotten
you.
to the point where
you're
I
so
will
kind.
just flat out refuse things in front of people. I don't care about their feelings.
Yeah, he's like that.
I don't.
He's
I
like
don't.
that.
Because then I got to hold on to it and then dispose of it. And then I feel like I'm being unnecessarily wasteful.
True. I try to spare people's feelings, but I'm a little bit of a people pleaser, so that's, you know.
No, you can get over it because I just, like, we have standards with what we give him. And I don't trust everybody's kitchen.
For real.
I really don't. I have witnessed things in other people's kitchens that I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm okay. And am I going to get deathly ill? Probably not. But I don't know.
But you don't know.
I don't know, because that's nasty.
That's
so
insane.
This is a little bit closer to home in a place.
Excuse me. If that was audible.
Called Rockdale. Rockdale County, Georgia.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
The headline is Whites Only, Coloreds Only. Signs posted in Rockdale Elementary School. A group of parents said they are upset after their kids walked inside Honey Creek Elementary and found segregation signs posted inside the school. This is by Audrey Washington with WSB TV, April 23rd, 2025. This is relevant present day news.
Yeah. Not a history.
No. This is right now. The parents told Channel 2's Audrey Washington the signs seen in the school on April 15th read for whites only and for colored only.
Go back up.
Right there it is.
I hate those.
Yeah. Read more.
Continue here. And it's like,
let me just give me the article. The signs were reportedly posted above water fountains and inside the cafeteria. A Rockdale County School District spokesperson said the signs were a part of a history lesson about Ruby Bridges, the first black child to desegregate an all-white public school in the South. Still, parents voiced their disappointment about the signs on social media and at a recent school board meeting. Things can be taught in a way that doesn't inflict trauma on children, one parent told Channel 2's Audrey Washington on Wednesday. That parent asked not to be identified because she said she fears retaliation after she spoke out against the signs. I'm trying to limit as much backlash as I can because I know there are racist individuals in this world, unfortunately, she said Wednesday morning. The school's principal sent a message to parents. It read in part, "You may have heard that we, along with our district human resources department, have been investigating an incident reported to us that involved a social studies activity based on a historical figure in American history that was not approved." Not approved. You know how many hoops they have to jump through to get anything done in a classroom, let alone posted all over the school? It was without approval that they were allowed to post signs all over the schools, over the water fountains, unless a student prank was the reason for this. But this was this was a history teacher. So you did this without approval. I think they're saving face.
Mm.
No, it was that rogue teacher. We didn't approve this. It's not all of us. We are much more racially sensitive than that. I don't believe him. Okay, so upon learning of the activity, we communicated directly with the parents of students who may have been affected.
Everyone's affected.
The historical figure was Ruby Bridges, which is part of the Georgia Social Studies standards. The district provides teachers with curriculum documents that include recommended and vetted resources and activities. In this instance, the teacher did not adhere to the approved resources or recommended lessons provided by the district. While we do not believe there was any ill intent, the activity was not included in the teacher's submitted lesson plan and was not approved by school administrators. We expect all faculty to follow lesson plans that are submitted and approved by administrators. We will not share any further information as this is a personnel matter, but wanted to give you context of the situation. Some parents still want reassurance that a similar incident will not happen again. My son was over a water fountain drinking, and there was a "for colored only" sign above, and he was made fun of by the other children. To me, that's not a history lesson, one parent said. In a statement to Channel 2's Audrey Washington, a Rockdale County School District spokesperson wrote, "This is being investigated through the district's Human Resources Department, and we have taken the appropriate action to address the reported information. Due to the nature of this personnel matter, we cannot share further information."
Interesting. I would love to know the teacher. I want to know.
I'm going to see if I can find out.
Because I want to know whose lesson this was. Now, I will say, just because there's like a slew of teachers like on TikTok and social media, that it does seem like you do submit a lesson plan, but largely there's a lot of stuff that still is left out of lesson plans, and teachers do sometimes stray or create a project or whatever that's outside of it. I'd be interested to know if it was just a drinking fountain and a water fountain or whatever.
They said all over the school.
Oh, they were posted over all of them?
All over the school.
Okay. See, that's...
So how do you do that without approval, without it immediately getting taken down?
Yeah.
As soon as
that's
any other teacher saw it,
teacher, right? Or
any
principal.
other principal, any other adult in the building looks up and says, "For color, that can't be up there."
Right.
I'm just going to take it down as a precaution, and we'll put them back up if somebody approves it.
No.
No. I'm
gonna take it down. I'm gonna ball it up. I'm gonna put it in the trash.
I'm gonna throw that one away. Yeah. That seems like the right thing to do.
Right. And
you could
them just being left up, and then suddenly children making fun of them. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah,
but
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like you left them up. It doesn't seem like there was any context given. It was just like, hey, today is racism day at school, and
you could have just shown them the Ruby Bridges movie.
Yeah.
In that history class.
You could have shown them pictures of the vile individuals that sat there and screamed hateful remarks at her. It gives the sentiment. It really does. There's still video of her being walked to school, escorted to school, and then there's even follow-up stories of how the woman saw herself years later and realized that she was a disgusting human being and apologized, and Ruby forgave her, and now they, have made appearances together about how, love can overcome hate and all those kind of things. So there was many different ways you could go with this lesson. I'd be interested to know who came up with this and what.
I don't know.
I don't.
Because right now.
Model Racism Day? Like, I don't understand.
I don't get it. But I don't think you can do those things without approval. Maybe they did. Maybe with all of these cuts and teachers quitting, that there was just no oversight, and some genius thought that it would be appropriate to teach this lesson in this way instead of, I don't know, giving them.
What was the lesson? Somebody.
That this is a taste of what it was like for for people not that long ago
So who's learning that lesson? Because you have black children
who are getting mocked at
who
the
are getting mocked at the colored.
water
Are the
fountain.
black children learning what it was like to be oppressed? Is that what we're teaching?
Seems like it.
I feel like you
Because
got
unless you do what that professor did, and
keyword professor.
yeah, that professor, and she had her children like what
Nope.
is it?
Adults,
No. She used to be a school teacher.
but not a kindergarten or elementary school teacher. She worked. I thought she worked at high school too.
National Brotherhood Week. What's brotherhood?
And
Treat everyone
college too.
as though he was your brother. And is there anyone in this United States that we do not treat as our brothers?
And maybe I could be thinking of it.
The black people. Who else? Absolutely the Indians. Many places in the United States. How are black people treated? How are Indians treated? How are people who are of a different color?
Jane Elliott is who I'm talking about here.
Why is that? Because they're a different color. You think you know how that would feel to be judged by the color of your skin? Do you think you do? No, I don't think you would know how that felt unless you had been through it, would you? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this? Yeah! Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Since I'm the teacher and I have blue eyes, I think maybe the blue-eyed people should be on top the first day. I mean, the blue-eyed people are the better people in this room. Oh, yes, they are. Yeah. Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people. This is a fact. The brown-eyed people do not get to use the drinking fountain. You'll have to use the paper cups. You brown-eyed people are not to play with the blue-eyed people on the playground. The brown-eyed people in this room today are going to wear collars so that we can tell from a distance what color your eyes are. Ready, Laurie? Brown-eyed. She's a brown-eyed. You'll begin to notice today that we spend a great deal of time waiting for brown-eyed people. I don't see the yardstick, do you?
It's coming over there. Hey, Mr. Second, better keep that on your desk. Look, brown-eyed people get out of hand.
Oh, you think if the brown-eyed people get out of hand, that would be the thing to use? Who goes first to lunch? The blue-eyed people. Blue-eyed people may go back for seconds. Brown-eyed people do not.
Brown-eyed.
Don't you know?
Oh, they're not smart. It seemed like when we were down on the bottom, everything bad was happening to us.
The way they treated you, you felt like you didn't even want to try to do anything.
It seemed like Mrs. Elliott was taking our best friends away from us.
What happened at recess? Were two of you boys fighting?
Russell called me
Tuesday
names, and I hit him
afternoon.
in the gut.
What did he call you?
Brown eyes. They always call us that.
Yeah, always call us that.
Call us brown eyes.
What's wrong with being called brown-eyed?
It means that we're stupider.
I watched what had been marvelous, cooperative, wonderful, thoughtful children turn into nasty, vicious, discriminating little third graders in a space of 15 minutes. Yesterday, I told you that brown-eyed people aren't as good as blue-eyed people. That wasn't true. I lied to you yesterday. The truth is that brown-eyed people are
Wednesday
better than
morning.
blue-eyed people. Russell, where are your glasses?
I forgot them.
You forgot them. And what color are your eyes?
Stop.
Susan
Look at
Ginder
you.
has brown eyes. She didn't forget her glasses. Russell Ring has blue eyes, and what about his glasses? He forgot them. Yesterday we were visiting, and Greg said, "Boy, I like to hit my little sister as hard as I can. That's fun." What does that tell you about blue-eyed people? The brown-eyed people may take off their collars, and each of you may put your collar on a blue-eyed person.
Ooh, she got up quick.
Yeah.
The brown-eyed people get 5 extra minutes of recess. You blue-eyed people are not allowed to be on the playground equipment. You blue-eyed people are not to play with the brown-eyed
There's a
people.
kid with just his
Brown-eyed
head
people
down
are
into
better
it
than
because
blue-eyed
he's
people. They're
realizing
smarter
how
than blue-eyed
far he's fallen
people. And if you don't
in
believe it,
one
look at
day.
Brian. I use Orton Gillingham Phonics. We used the card pack. The brown-eyed children were in the low class the first day, and it took them 5.5 minutes to get through the card pack. The second day, it took them 2.5 minutes. The only thing that had changed was the fact that now they were superior people. You went faster than I've ever had anyone go through the card pack. Why couldn't you get them yesterday?
They were so busy being focused on being less than.
Oh,
Yep.
and you couldn't think as well with the collars on. 4 minutes and 18 seconds. How long did it take you yesterday?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. How long did it take you today?
Aww.
4 minutes and 18 seconds.
What happened?
Went down.
What were you thinking of?
This.
I hate today.
How do you do? I hate too.
Because I'm blue-eyed.
See, I am too.
There's nothing, it's not funny, it's not fun, it's not pleasant. This is a filthy, nasty word called discrimination. We're treating people a certain way because they are different from the rest of us.
One,
is
I
that
think
fair?
this is great.
No.
Right. I think this is awesome.
Nothing
But,
fair about it. We didn't say this was going to be a
this is
fair
the
day,
intent,
did we?
right? Is to show someone else's perspective, not to put further trauma on someone who is a victim of generational trauma
Exactly.
already.
That's why I said when she did it, this was a perfect example of how to give that lesson and develop that empathy muscle.
Yeah.
Without resorting to Jim Crow.
Yeah. Well, but my thing is, just my own personal gut feeling is that even this would be highly frowned upon today.
I'm sure it would.
I think that parents, you have traumatized my baby.
They learned a lesson.
Right.
And sometimes lessons hurt to learn.
Right.
What did Rooster say in Pets 2? I bit an electrical cord once. I walked backwards for a week, and I never bit another one again.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that
was a powerful lesson that Jane Elliott, that video has stuck with me since I saw it.
Yeah, no, that is. I was thinking about and I wonder if that's the same woman, just older now.
She's got
who's a
white hair
college
now.
professor. Yeah, okay, so
Yes,
it is the same person,
Mhm.
but I didn't know about this.
That's where she's
lesson.
been teaching.
She's been doing this since the very
Since
beginning.
the very
I mean,
beginning,
just
she's been trying to
meaningful.
change
If you have not
minds.
seen some of the videos that she's done, or not just videos, but lessons. I think the videos are taken of her, but I don't think that the lessons are that she's doing. It's not like modern day content creation. I think these were just, she was groundbreaking in her teachings.
Yep.
Wow.
So that was the my little Rockdale Elementary story where people
That's
got
insane.
Yeah, it's 2025. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit east now, and
East.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Like New York.
a little bit further. Thailand has rolled out its first AI-powered police robot.
Oh, Lord.
Named Pol Cole. Can't pronounce that. Absolutely. You know what? Okay, so the robot made its debut during the Songkran Festival to boost public safety in Nakton Pathum. I don't know, and forgive my pronunciation. I'm not good with this. So, equipped with a 360-degree cameras and real-time facial recognition, the AI Police Cyborg 1.0 monitors crowds to detect high-risk individuals and possible threats. Created by Provincial Police Region 7 in collaboration with local officials, it also syncs with live CCTV and drone feeds to issue rapid alerts.
Yeah, that has me worried.
I know, right?
That can't be good.
That can't be good.
Can't be good.
I
Nobody's seen RoboCop.
Nobody's seen Terminator.
Nobody's seen
iRobot.
iRobot.
Chopping Mall.
Like,
there's a lot of movies out there.
We've already talked about how like artificial intelligence and already is predispositioned with the prejudice and perspective of those who build it. Right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
at least it's not an American-made police robot.
But still,
I know.
Caste exists everywhere.
Yes, it does.
So down to something as simple as when I take our son to the bathroom, he can't understand why when we're standing at the same sink as someone else, why the sink faucet keeps turning off for him when he's trying to sing his ABCs to know his hands are clean. While the lady next to him, he's looking at her and she's washing her hands unencumbered.
Yeah.
Now, you can guess the differences between my son and the lady next to him.
Yep.
And why
but that
it might be...
sensor just...
The sensor just can't seem to...
to
track him.
Why? If I'm wearing black clothing. It's hard for me to get into, and I'm not extremely melanated here, but grocery store doors take a minute
Mm-hmm.
to open. I gotta go. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, street patrol duty for police
Dude,
cyborg? No,
yeah.
thank you.
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm
thank
I'm
you.
good on that. Okay.
You keep skipping this, like blurred out. I assume there's a reason. So you.
Yeah, that's what I'm closing with.
Oh, okay.
I'm
peeking.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like,
All
what's he
right.
talking about?
So, months after satellites spotted a massive we're still east.
Oh, okay.
We're still east, except we're in China right now.
I'm there.
Months after satellites spotted a massive fusion facility in Sichuan, China. In Sichuan, China has made sorry, it is late, so my reading skills are off.
You're fine.
Months after satellites spotted a massive fusion facility in Sichuan, China has made a huge leap in fission technology. Researchers at the Chinese Academy of Sciences recently revealed that they've successfully operated a thorium-powered nuclear reactor in the Gobi Desert, hitting a major milestone. They not only ran the reactor at full power last June, but also reloaded it while it was still running. A world-first achievement. This is big news for nuclear energy. Thorium is seen as safer, more accessible fuel compared to uranium, which has military uses. Thorium reactors are much harder to weaponize, making them less risky for nuclear proliferation. In fact, thorium-based reactors are considered a poor source for building nuclear weapons, unlike uranium. The reactor in the Gobi Desert is a small 2 megawatt research unit that uses molten salt as both fuel and coolant. These molten salt reactors, MSRs, are much safer than traditional water-based reactors. They work at lower pressure and can handle higher amounts of heat. And if something goes wrong, the molten fuel naturally cools down and stays contained, unlike water reactors, which can explode like Chernobyl. This kind of reactor isn't new. The U.S. actually researched molten salt reactors in the late 40s and early 50s with plans for nuclear-powered stealth bombers. But in 1961, Congress cut funding, and uranium became the go-to fuel. The U.S. research was made public, and it laid the groundwork for the Chinese team's work in the Gobi Desert. Xu Hongji, I apologize if I butchered your name.
Sorry to that man.
Or
woman.
I don't know. The lead scientist on the project pointed out that the U.S. left their research open for future exploration. Rabbits sometimes make mistakes or grow lazy. That's when the tortoise seizes its chance, he said, highlighting how China took advantage of this opportunity. This could totally change the nuclear energy game, providing a safer, cleaner, and more sustainable energy source with less risk of nuclear weapons production.
Wow.
The world's first thorium nuclear reactor is now active in China. I think it's good news. I mean...
And what is its use case?
Energy production.
Like power cities? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Instead of nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, I mean, nuclear reactors power cities. As it stands now, it's just... using uranium is more dangerous, but you can use it to make weapons. So,
right.
Of course,
so it's
two birds, you know?
Right. I was going to say, so it's not only more dangerous, like, to handle and to have running because of nuclear fallout, but also more dangerous because someone will use it as a weapon.
Yes, you can...
Whereas this doesn't have... It's like the most ineffective use for weaponry.
Yes.
Got it.
So it is... just for energy. So that was...
Yeah. That's insane. I had no idea. How did I not even know about this? Where do you live? Are we even connected to the same modem?
I don't think so. Our servers are so different. Last story, because I mean, again, it's late. And these are just quick shares at this point. We're winding down, and she's blurred out because there's 2 children there.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell what it was, the really quick times that you...
All right. Let me click on this. Nope. Where is it? Come on. Okay. So it says, okay, y'all. This woman, Carolyn or Caroline Miller, was in Walmart with her 2 kids when she claimed Mahendra Patel walked up to her to ask her where the Tylenol was. She then states that he grabbed her 2-year-old son and they got into a tug of war before he fled. She called the police and Patel was arrested for kidnapping. It has been a month since Patel was put in jail, but for some reason the surveillance footage is just being released. At this point, lock her and the baby up, is what the comment says. So, let's watch the video.
Lock her and the baby? How did the baby get in it?
Oh, come on. Okay. All right.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. You gotta go back. Okay, so you accidentally played that section, but that was so diabolical. Did someone accidentally, or something like that, take you from
Somebody try to
mommy?
take you from mommy.
Yeah. She said it so sweetly.
Uh-huh.
Like, what? That was bizarre.
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Right.
This video is accused of a terrible crime, snatching a little boy at Walmart. The mother's accusation was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy? Yeah.
Caroline Miller says it started when the shopper asked where he could find Tylenol at a Walmart in Atlanta.
It's over there. And as soon as I did that, that's when he just picked him up out of my arms.
What followed, she said, was a tug of war over the kid. She called 911.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
Someone trying to snatch your baby?
Yeah.
56-year-old Mahendra Patel was charged with kidnapping and simple assault.
Okay.
Okay.
That's horrible.
That's
right?
awful.
That is terrifying. I have a son. He is adorable.
He's
and
also 2.
He is 2 years old. And it's a very real fear.
I would not be that calm.
Oh, no. I would have been going to jail.
Nuck if you buck.
Bro, don't try. Not about him. So, if it, like, I don't like people just walking up and touching him.
Right.
You know, or like addressing him without addressing me first.
Right.
I don't appreciate it. I
don't
don't play
either.
about my son.
Yeah. I don't even have to muse.
I know, you know.
I don't even have to muse about it. Like I said, people that know me know we don't play about him.
I call me overly protective. Fine. He will be protected.
That boy is protected.
He will be protected. That is my job.
Okay.
And I take it seriously. As is this woman.
But this newly released surveillance tape appears to paint an entirely different picture, showing Patel asking Miller about the Tylenol. And you can see her pointing toward the drug aisle. What is going on there? Because that is the point where she is alleging he was trying to grab her son and she was pulling him back.
Her children are sort of hanging off of this cart, and you see Mr. Patel almost lean in to help. And then moments later, literally split seconds later, she starts to rise to point out the Tylenol. Then within 1 or 2 seconds after that, you see her in a screen laughing with another gentleman.
The tape shows that minutes after she claimed he tried to kidnap her son, there was a subsequent encounter where Patel shows the woman he found the Tylenol. He then checks out, stops to talk to an employee, then leaves.
I think it's crystal clear from the video. You can see that there's no assaulting conduct. You can see there's no battery. You can see he doesn't actually take the child from the mother.
The shopper
Yeah.
in this video is
So there's not even like a misunderstanding.
No, she just straight up lied on this dude and got him put in jail. It's
I wish
there
I could
was-
say I was shocked, but like, I mean, I am surprised that that's where this video particularly went, but when you get to the outcome, you're like, and another one,
And another one.
Is it why you always lying? Wow.
Yes.
What did that man do to you?
Nothing. He was just brown.
And he's in jail now because of your lies.
Yep. He spent a month in jail because she lied on him.
That's
why they said it is. It is. It absolutely is.
And you know how they treat?
Yes. They find out that you did anything to a child.
That is, wow. That is vile.
What's the purpose? What do you stand to gain from that?
Attention. Like you were just saying, apple cider vinegar.
You're right. You're right. I know. I've.
Which, if y'all haven't watched apple cider vinegar on Netflix, you need to go watch it. That's all I'll say. We still have to watch the docuseries. Maybe we'll talk about it after we watch the docuseries about the real individual.
Because that show was wild.
Wild.
It just kept going, but it was based on
a true story.
On a true
story.
story.
They took liberties. But...
Of course, they always do. It's got to make good television. But oh my goodness, it is so easy. That's another real fear.
It's another. That's why I said, I'm up here making not empty, but make it. They are not empty. That's a Freudian slip, but they are not empty. Be warned. Proceed at your own risk. But I'm sitting up here making threats. I meant veiled or poorly veiled. But then to come to find, because that is a real fear.
It is.
But then to come to find out, and
it's hard to collect yourself when you're in that mindset of what if somebody tried it. But he didn't, and still went to jail. He asked her where the Tylenol is. That was his crime.
Right.
Where is his due process? Why didn't they check the surveillance footage that day? Why did he go to jail?
Right.
Why did he spend any time in jail?
That is insane. I'm going to put this here because I messed up and didn't include our clothes in our handout. So that's why I'm making adjustments here.
Yep, got to do the laundry.
That is, whew, we have been literally around the world.
It was fun though.
Whew.
It was long.
Okay, so
this is long form content.
This is
This is long form content.
And we hope that you're here for it. Let us know if there are stories that we missed. If you have thoughts on our stories,
put it down in the comments.
Let us know. Because from social media mess to what is going on in these other countries, child, we have run the gambit.
Gamut.
Oh, is it gamut?
It is gamut. GAMU. No. See, we take the opportunity to learn something. GAMUT. The complete range or scope of something.
Okay, so then what's gambit?
A device, action, or opening remark, typically one entailing a degree of risk that is calculated to gain an advantage.
Interesting.
The Queen's Gambit.
Ah, okay. Now, see, I don't like to speak out of ignorance. So I'm the kind of person where it burns me up when words be eating y'all alive in the comment section.
Ooh, 2-2 with 2.
Right. Mine as well. So if I'm
Brought
saying
something.
I brought it from the store, like, do you mean that you actually like picked it
You
up and
brought it
carried
home
or you brought it
after you bought it.
Right.
Just
So
letting you know.
I'm just that person. Nah, I'm not gonna take time out of my day to correct you, but I
Nope.
am gonna judge you.
From
I'm
over
a
here,
listen and I'm a
silently.
judge. Okay, in those circumstances, because when you the same age as me, I feel like we had the same amount of education, and it should be better.
We didn't though,
and it
but
should
it
be
should.
better. I expected more from you. We were rooting for you anyway. But it's late, y'all.
Yeah, and like our toddler at bedtime. Oh, we're done for today.
Okay.
Had a long day.
But we did. To quote our son, had a long day, and
I think
I'm so
I'm.
sleepy.
I think I'm ready for bedtime.
But before we go, let's leave you with this week's status quote. Do you have a status quote for this week?
No, you got one?
Okay, well, mine this week is to summarize how my timeline was, which is, and I quote, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can decline an invitation to the circus. Amanda Seals.
Why is my mind so mean? Because the first thought that came to my mind was, she should take her own advice.
See, and with that, before we get ourselves on that radar, we're going to go ahead.
Hey, listen, I'm nobody. She don't care about me.
We're going to go ahead and say, stay hydrated.
Scroll. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you said stay hydrated, and I felt like I should say scroll responsibly.
And keep asking.
What's the tea?
What is the tea?
Oh. Later, neighbor.